No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, or none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Shennies?
No. I don't even speak to it. I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
No.
Night Court with Joe Lanou live on X.
Also known as Duck Corella.
I refuse to answer on the grounds you may intend to
You
criminate.
got any business?
I refuse to answer on the grounds you intend to criminate.
You have any profession?
I refuse to answer on the grounds you may intend
You
to
have any
criminate.
occupation?
I refuse to answer on the grounds you may intend to
Are you a
criminate.
known racketeer?
I refuse to answer on the grounds you may
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Black Friday. Friday night videos are the grand jury, I should say, with our new name change. Grand jury and police use of force video review. We're still waiting on a couple of panel members to come in here that I'm hoping are going to make it tonight, but it is a holiday weekend, so I'm not sure how many of our normal panelists are going to be busy and not be able to join us, but I've got some good videos. And for those of you who don't know, before we went on air, we were listening to some great turkey stories from Big Ron. Big Ron did a pretty nice turkey. If you're an ex-guy following Big Ron, I'm sure you've seen it. He did some nice posts on it to preview it. But I think we're going to dig into exactly how he did this on the Smoke Show. But Big Ron, how was your Thanksgiving? Turkey turnout?
Yeah, it was a great Thanksgiving. Good turkey turnout. My oldest son and his wife hosted us this year again. She wanted to host us and had the in-laws over along with us. So 3 turkeys. We had my smoked turkey along with my signature smoked stuffing. So I hope everybody turns into the Smoke Show to see that. My son did a fried turkey, and his wife did a standard roasted turkey, since they completely forgot that I was doing a smoked turkey. And love her to death, and I'm sure her turkey was good, but nobody touched her turkey.
When you do it like that, the in-laws are coming. Do you feel a sense of competition when you take your food over? Are you
Oh,
watching to
100%.
see
100%. Because they
which
both
one's
told me,
favorite?
they told me right after they got married that her dad loves to barbecue, loves to smoke, but he's horrible at it. So they got him some of the gadgets that I have around the house, my thermometer and some of the things I do. But yes, it was 100% a competition for me to take one of my smoked turkeys over there so that he could taste my smoked turkey and my smoked stuffing, and see what good barbecue tastes like.
So you're actually counting trips back to the table.
What's that?
You're counting trips back to the table. I mean, you're gauging by the food that is removed from the plate as to which one the winner is for the night.
Oh, mine was the clear winner because all that was left of my turkey was a carcass. There was still fried turkey left over, and like we said, her turkey didn't even get touched. Not that she makes bad turkey, she does not. We had her turkey last year. She makes a phenomenal turkey. Please don't take as me saying my daughter-in-law makes horrible turkey. She makes phenomenal turkey, but when you've got a smoked turkey on the table, what are you going to take?
Well, she may not make bad turkey, but she didn't make better turkey. Is that what you're saying?
She doesn't make my turkey.
I come in with this. She doesn't make good turkey. That's why I'm coming away with this conversation.
No, she makes good turkey. She does. It's just, I think we've all, whoever have done turkey in our lifetimes, have gone through that progression where we start off with, we're going to bake the turkey because that's the way we've seen it done for the past 50 years, and then we get the wild burn. We're like, let's fry the turkey this year, and you do fried turkey for a while, and then you graduate to let me try this on a smoker, and that's kind of the compilation of it. You're like, I'm never turning back.
Sorry, I was reading a text. Jason, you did a turkey. Did you smoke yours this Thanksgiving as well?
I did. I tried something different, more of an orange-based brine with herbs and garlic, and then more of a fruit wood smoke. Everybody that ate it liked it. I prefer more of a garlicky salt and pepper taste with a little more smoke into it, but it was juicy. They loved it. just not my cup of tea. I didn't turn it down, but I've done better ones in the past, just for my own taste. I'm more of a meat and potato guy, the salt and pepper, garlic. So it turned out good though. Just not my flavor.
It wasn't your number one turkey, right?
Not in my mouth, no. Family loved it. Just I prefer a different taste.
Fair enough.
Give my recipe a shot there next time, Jason. I think you'll like it. I've pretty much stuck to that same recipe for the last few years.
No, I absolutely will. It looks good.
I tell you what, Fiji, tell us about your Thanksgiving, and I think that's all the water I'm going to trade. We're going to jump into some videos. We're trying to get B in, and I'm doing this by text, but we're trying to get B in because I've got a video of how her and her family processed turkeys and what they did this year. I'd like to show it, but I need her to kind of explain it. So I'm kind of treading water on that. But Fiji, what was your Thanksgiving like?
It was okay. Not much to say about it.
Well, clearly you didn't have a big Ron turkey on your table. You'd have something to say about that.
No, I don't eat poultry. We had ham. It's just the three of us out here, so I mean, it was pretty quiet. Thanksgiving, nothing to really write home about.
Well, all right then. Tell you what,
Do you
let's
have a
go to
good one, Jay?
mine was decent. I didn't have a big Ron turkey on the table, but it was good.
We have B in the house.
Well, we don't have B. I wanted her in the studio house.
I see her in comments. Is she in the backstage?
I'm working with her on some text. No, she's not backstage.
No, she's
She
not. I'm
hadn't
watching
she
it.
hadn't made it there yet. I think she's saying it's forcing her to use her camera. Oh, we've got a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Vet LT3 is with us. What's going on, Vet?
What's going on, y'all? Long time.
It is a long time. I saw some posting of some turkey business going on at your house. Maybe even a smoker.
Yeah, spatchcock turkey with a nice applewood smoke. Got that internal temp to about 165. External was 225 for about 6 hours or so. And yeah, you know what sucks is, man, Thanksgiving coming, pressure. Everybody was we were going to my brother-in-law's. I took it off the smoker, wrapped it. It's set while we were going to my brother-in-law's, and didn't take any pictures of the cut. But you have to take my word for it that it was at least a 1-inch smoke ring on that bird, and it was juicy as hell. It was really good.
So, are you like Big Ron when you're taking food to family? Are you watching the table to see if yours is the best there?
What I'm noticing is that people went back for seconds. The turkey was definitely the number one thing that was back on the seconds.
Just say yes, Vet. Just say yes.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna back my brother Ron, but yes.
I think when you start smoking meat and you put that much time and effort into it, you do pay attention to whether people are enjoying it or not, or what you might be able to do next time different. It's my apologies, Vet, for getting you into that the whole thing of smoking meat. Says you're in deep and you're in trouble.
Yes, you, Ron. I blame both of you guys. You guys are my ground zero when it comes to my addiction to smoking.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you brought it upon yourself when you made the comment, I'm going to smoke a steak on my grill tonight. And I had to call you on it. I just had to point out the fallacy of your language.
Oh, yes. The tongue lashing I got that day. Oh, my goodness. I felt like I was back in basic and I had my first sergeant yelling at me. But
I tell you what, guys, we have we got some. We're gonna have some long videos tonight. I'm doing a little different video format. The information is going to be strung out instead of listed on most of these, instead of listed on the back for just a few seconds of a read. So let's go ahead and get started. Our panelists, they'll get in here, but I want to start with since B's not in the studio with us. I sent an invite. I did. Since she's not in the studio with us, you're gonna have to get my best narration on what happens with turkeys. But let me tell you about B, and it's B we're talking about. It's one that if you watch the show often, you'll see her making a lot of comments, and there she is, says she's here. B's family, going back a number of years, has gone through the process of raising baby turkeys. They get them in the spring, and they raise them for harvest the week before Thanksgiving. And I think initially it was given out to employees of her family in a family business, but since the family business has gone other places, they've continued this tradition and they give it out to people in the community. In fact, B sent on dry ice a 40-pound turkey, which is going to be one of these in the video here. I'm not sure exactly which one, but we're going to see it. A 40-pound turkey to Shane and Jason so they can smoke that turkey, and they're going to use it at a public event that's coming up between Christmas and New Year's. But I asked her to shoot some videos. I was curious, but I've heard her talk about it. But they go into it in a big way, guys. They're not out with a stump in the backyard with a hatchet. I think they did 30, maybe 33 turkeys this year. But let's take a look at what she sent me, and I'll talk my way through this the best I can. These are the turkeys. They get them when they're little birds, and then they raise them up. I believe this was taken on the fateful day, so this is as big as they're going to get.
I'm going to have kind of an odd question here. Maybe B can answer us in the chat. But so, is there a difference between the white and the traditional colored turkeys? Is there a flavor difference? Is there a size difference?
The black ones are greasier. I believe they're Toms. All right. Here's the first turkey selected. This one, when we're looking at, folks, could not have been a celebration. Okay, so look, they hang them up, and they're still alive, and B explains this very well. This is the most humane way to do it, to end their suffering as quick as possible and bleed them out. But they do that. They get this water up to about 160 degrees, and after the bird is dispatched, they put in there. It's supposed to aid in taking off the feathers. They even go a little further than that and taking off feathers. So they got your hot water vat there. Now, see what I mean? This is stainless steel, folks. This is commercial grade stuff. Now, this little apparatus does that. Plucks the chicken. See that? The little rubber nubs turning around, just pull the chicken feathers off. But the automation ends about right here from the way I can tell. There we go. This is B in action. 30 some odd turkeys were processed the same way. We're talking fresh turkey too, though. This turkey meat has never been frozen.
That's got to be some good tasting turkey.
We're gonna find out. We have some people on it. You got some of this video was taken on cell phone. It didn't expand well, and this is and I think this is B herself. I'm not sure, but I think this is B herself. They're just cleaning the turkey like you would expect it to be cleaned from the grocery store when you bought it. I think she's actually taking out the turkey butt. I think it's happening right there in front of us. Turkey butt removal. Wow, look, I didn't know that's how it's done. It's amazing. And yes, B confirms that is B cleaning the turkeys. I had a discussion with her. She said in the beginning, when she first started doing it, she was like a little apprehensive about it. But over the years, she says she kind of enjoys it, and she's not afraid to get in there and make it happen. I wonder if that video would be clear if I had it smaller. No, it's not going to make a difference. It's in the editing. So here she is. I mean, she's cleaning and processing the bird, getting the bird ready to go. They have roll-out stainless steel processing tables, stainless steel sinks. They do this in a huge way. Now, I got a DM from someone talking about turkey. Actually, we may be seeing the same thing in a different I think this is the turkey butt removal. But I got a text, not a text, an X post asking if I've ever smoked turkey butts. But I think that's that little flange at the end there we see at the end of the turkey. That's what it looked like. So I'm curious. Well, at the end, this is the picture. Look at, now I want to pause this. Take a look at this. And this is not a nonprofit organization, not even really a church group. These are just people in her community in California that get together every year and do this. This is the end. This is one of the pictures of the cleanup. But I mean, look at the process back there. You've got sawhorse tables. You've got a hoist out to hang the turkeys on. They've got the machine that defeathers them, the stainless steel tables, the hot water vat. It's a pretty impressive operation to do that for literally donating turkeys to people in your community, fresh turkeys at that. And we're going to get to see some of those going out. And there they are. They're bagged up with their numbers on them for the people that are going to come get them and ready to disperse. Like I say, one of those, oh, you know what? That is the weight. I just realized. I thought there was numbers maybe for somebody to pull, but those are the weights. So look, there's a 25-pound turkey, 14-pound turkey, 41 over here. That one actually may have gone to Jason. It was one that similar size. There's some big turkeys. I learned about this. We were talking once, and she talked about we were talking about how big turkeys were you could get. And she said that her father-in-law raises 57-pound turkeys. I kind of called BS on it until the first picture come through. And after you see these pictures, like, oh yeah, that's crazy. But they produce some crazy big turkeys. But so what do y'all think about that? Anybody have any comments about?
I don't know if I could even get a 41-pound turkey on my smoker. I might have to buy a bigger smoker.
Yeah, you know what? Jason's having to go to a commercial restaurant to get his smoke. Am I right about that, Jason?
Yeah, we're going to do a fundraising event at a bar up in Shane's community. And he's good friends with the guy that owns a sports bar. And we're going to smoke it on a commercial smoker.
My wife just said challenge accepted. That's funny. I did have access. I don't anymore, but I did actually have access to the smokers at Mission Barbecue here in town. But yeah, I don't have that access anymore.
Question for you, Ron.
I'd like to add, are those birds just farm raised, like nothing added, just natural raised? Because
they're about as organic as you get. They buy them as chicks and raise them throughout the season. And what you saw was their last day.
B, I'm gonna have to hit you up, man. I'm gonna have to order a turkey from you next year. I'm just saying those are real nice.
Well, she donates them, so you might have to figure out a good way to say thank you on those. But it's a lot of work, and she did a lot of work for Jason and Shane to get that out there. And I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead.
No, yes, she did, and very grateful, and we're going to send her some money. But B or Ron, 41-pound bird, spatchcock.
You know, if you're going to use a commercial smoker, I would say no, because your heat's not going to be at the bottom. Because if it's what I'm thinking, it's going to be the same kind that like Mission Barbecue would use, which is going to be kind of like a rotating drum on a chain where it's going to rotate the bird through the heat and the smoke. I would leave it whole. It's going to leave a better presentation on that also, especially if you want to get the full size breast off. You'll be able to come straight down that breastbone and then come across the bottom of the turkey with one slice and take that whole breast off to give you the nice slices across the grain to be able to serve it. So I would do a full size turkey. Jason, Vet, what do you guys think?
I was wondering, would you rotate it also? Like, start with the head side, breast side facing, well, because I've got the way my smoker works, it's a reverse flow. So I had my breast side facing where the smoke come through, and then I switched it around just once. Only did it one time halfway through, but I would think you would want to do that on my type of smoker anyway.
Jason, what kind of a commercial smoker is this going to be? Is this going to be just a straight line smoker with a fire pit at one side, or is this like
let me pause you. Let's don't get broke in the weeds on that. That's a smoke show topic, and we're going to do the smoke show this Sunday. I'm already preparing for it, so we'll be good for that. But I do want to go over that. And I say you absolutely spatchcock it, and I'll tell you why on Sunday. But in the meantime, let's go to Let's go buy a new car.
What part of the business?
Sorry to interrupt, Corey. I sent you a link, my friend. I skipped over you, but it's in your DMs. If you want to grab it and jump on in, we're ready for you.
Tough one.
He's up front.
There's breaking stuff inside. Stuff in stuff out. I got a lethal if you guys want. Charles! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Charles! Step it up if you got a knife. Say send it back. Charles, drop the knife. Drop it! Drop it! Drop it now! Drop it!
Hey, look.
Drop side, drop side. Automatic. One mil down. Officer's okay. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Male's in custody. Need some medical. Bring medical gear.
Med bag.
You okay, Chief?
Where's he shot at?
It should be in the front somewhere.
Okay.
Where's the manager got stabbed?
I don't know. He came out of that area with that broken glass over there. John's gonna roll you on the side. Me and Chief. Stuff off this. I don't know. One of the knives is, I think you're on it or something.
I
It's on the
kicked it
ground.
away. I kicked it away. Are you armed with anything else? Are you armed with anything else?
Where you hit, Charles?
All right, we got one in the side. Okay. Who's got a chest seal?
Chest seal? Somebody?
Jared, can you take your gloved hand and plug that?
All right, we got one here too. We got one here too, Sweetie.
I'm gonna hold pressure.
Good. Yeah, we got one here. One up there. Sweetie's got.
Where's my bag?
I don't know.
Where's my bag?
Diego's running out. Grab it.
Charles, talk to me. Talk to me.
The only males with guns should be in the place.
Give yourself a second, Bob. You got it.
Okay. I tell you what, let's start with Vet LT3. Vet, what do you think about this one?
I'm not trying to be insensitive, but the way he howled was just hilarious. I'm sorry. What I feel
that's
is
the sound of regret.
exactly. That's why I find it funny. It's not because I'm insensitive. It's just like, hey, you started it and FAFO, right? So, but yeah, clean. It's been so long, I forgot the damn terminology. So,
I think you're
no
trying
bill.
to say no bill.
No
I think
bill.
What you're trying to say is no bill.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
No bill, and yes, officers did what they had to. Even throwing a knife, I've thrown plenty of knives. You can stick it even if it's accidental or on purpose. It looked like he was trying to throw the knife at the officer. So definitely no bill. And I hope the employee doesn't have any scars from it, because when I was reading, it looked like one employee got stabbed or sliced. So yeah,
I
no
believe
bill.
it was this is a car dealership, and I believe it was a sales manager that was stabbed. I believe this was a patron and not an employee. So now the lead in on this, I want to point out. Go ahead, Fidji, but I want to stop this video and point out something while you tell us what your thoughts are. But what do you think about it, Fidji?
Did he have any other weapons on him when he was like cuffed there? Because he threw away the knife, right? Or did he just swing
Well,
it?
now that's what the narrative says, but let's look by his shoulder right there. Right there is a knife. I think
Yeah,
he
so he must have
slung it
just
like he was
swung
going to
it.
throw it, but he didn't.
Actually
Didn't
release it.
I don't think he actually released it. Yeah,
Mm.
but you look at the title in this video, and now this is one I got from Police Activity. But you look at the title of the video: "Officers shoot man after he throws knife." Which I guess the real question would be: there is he a threat after he throws the knife?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, Bill, because obviously they were closing distance in between each other, which would put him within the 21 foot. And he has a knife with him. I assume the cop didn't place that there, like pick it up and put it down. I can't see why he would do that.
Well, let's
But
let's
it
let's
did
see if
look
he
like he
did.
threw the knife. If he had thrown the knife, I would say
Okay,
that's a
well, on the
Bill.
video, there is no officer near his body.
Yeah,
We're going to walk it
is the
forward.
knife there? Yeah,
It's there
okay.
prior
I
to
would
get
say
there.
that's a no, Bill.
It'd be hard to say that the thin blue line placed it there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird how he swung it, but yeah, that's a no, Bill.
B said he had
Mhm.
no regrets. No regrets.
Yeah.
So it's no bill for Fidji. Big Ron, what did you think?
That's definitely not the way to get a discount at a dealership. I'll tell you that much. But I'm definitely gonna go with a no bill, good shoot. You can definitely see he was gonna try to throw that knife at the officer, and as my friend Vet LT said there, that was definitely the theme song to FAFO. And I'd like to also welcome Corey to the show.
Yeah, folks, we do have our resident Marine here, so we're going to talk slowly when I go to Corey and say, Corey, what did you think about this video and the officer's action that you viewed?
Well, thank you for that nice introduction. And yes, no bill. Reason being, even if he threw the knife, it looked like he was trying to reach for something else. If you want to rewind it, either he got shot, bent down, whatever the case may have been.
Let's take a look.
But the problem is,
shots. I don't believe it does appear that he throws it, but I don't think the knife actually leaves his hand. So let's watch this here. He's got
what
it
is a
back like
threat in
this.
motion?
Well, yeah, he could be a ninja. He could stick you in your eyeball with that knife. We've seen the movies, right?
Yeah, just like the movies. Well,
I mean,
yeah, not really going off of the movies. No matter what, that's still a threat in motion. I don't think you have to have a gun at that point. And I know this happened in Illinois. So great or grave bodily harm. That's what I always say. So he had the potential of causing great bodily harm. Tried to throw it. I don't think you should bring a knife to a gunfight, but obviously he did and lost. I think he learned a valuable lesson that day. I don't know if he passed or if he's still alive, but
as the time of this video, he was still in hospital receiving medical treatment. But you'll see the knife there by his right shoulder as he's lying there. So he didn't, unless he had two knives, he could have thrown one and had a second knife. But there's definitely a knife within reach right here.
Where's the other officer? The one, well, let's say the light blue. I'm gonna say light blue officer that's cuffing right now, because the angle, not even at his angle, it was another angle that they had where after either he was shot and it looked like he reached for something else. Let me see if I can pan in a little bit. There he is. He tries to throw it. Well, yeah, he bent out in pain.
He was
Still,
reacting to that
couldn't-
belly button shot, which looked pretty painful.
yeah. Still, even if that could be considered a threatening emotion, where he's probably reaching for something else. We don't know. And all too often in a self-defense incident, we don't know how many times, if we even shot the person. All we know is that we took the shots. It would be great if you can count your shots and see, but people think that they can count their shots. They can't always count their shots. So I stand with my statement. No bill. He'll be in a DuPage County jail, and he'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, there'll be some sorting out here in his future, that's for sure. Well, let's go to Jason. What do you think about this?
It's a no bill. I gotta hand it to these cops how professional they were in this moment. Love the fact that they weren't all hyped up. They came in, they took care of business when a threat presented itself, completely justified, and then they immediately switched to a triage, as we're watching right now, where they're checking his body for wounds, applying positive pressure, getting medics on the way to try to save this guy's life. So I commend these officers on their response to this.
Actually, I had a discussion with a gentleman in the space today that said he went to 4 weeks of 4 months of a police academy, and that officers are not trained to give aid, and that he watches these videos frequently, and he's always appalled by how they just stand above the victim who's been shot and don't provide aid.
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation earlier.
But you see my point there, Corey? We see
Yeah,
it in every
exactly.
video. They always provide aid once he's secure. But either way,
I missed that discussion. That's wild. I've been gone too long working and stuff, man. Jeez, that would have been interesting.
it turned to be rather interesting. But I'm a no bill on this as well. I think that officers well within their a reasonable person would have believed that their life or a third person's life could be in danger or the threat of serious bodily injury. And I think they used enough deadly force to stop that from happening, as apparent by the immediate capitulation of the suspect. And if you notice, once he got onto the ground, they didn't have to fight to get his hands behind his back. He did that pretty readily.
I would say I hope it's not a pelvic bowl shot, because oh my goodness, a lot of things can happen there, but it is pretty low. But even though he's a person that I don't want to say deserved, but his actions got those consequences, I really hope it wasn't a pelvic bowl shot, because that's just hard to recover from, especially if it fractures anything.
Yeah, he's, and I believe it said there he's still under medical care. He's going to have some issues. He could be pooping in a bag where that lower shot's at. But let's go to Ohio. We like Ohio.
Hands in the air! Hands in the air! Go! Ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Got fire! Go! Go!
Get medic. Get the medic in here. Canine 10 channel.
Hand in the air! Go!
Give everybody a chance to read this. You need to know some of the background to make a decision on this. Okay, are we good?
Yep.
Well, let's start with you, Corey. What do you think?
Well, even though I couldn't see anything in his hands, he took off and ran, and knowing what they know, that is a murder suspect. There's no telling what he can have on him. I think where people do blur the lines is that they would try to say, well, he was running away, he was no threat. Well, he just got done committing homicide. Well, let's say innocent to proven guilty. I can't just step on him that hard, but it is innocent to proven guilty. But that is the time for you to actually. That's not the time for you to just sit there and argue and say who did what and what did they know. One thing is, I was trying to look for any type of firearm, and the first shot that was taken, I couldn't tell if that was from the officer or if that was from him. It doesn't like it was from the officer.
I believe
So
it's from the officer. Let's go to the second. The officer that pulled in behind him makes
Mhm.
initial contact. I believe there's a lot more officers here. Let's go back to this. This was a murder suspect. They were sitting on a location he's known to be. They see him picked up by his girlfriend in the red car. They follow that car to where it gets to this apartment complex, and then now they're going to make their arrest. But there was a gentleman. This is a 16-year-old defendant who killed a gentleman in the while burglarizing his car. The guy interrupts him and he kills him. All right, so our officer gets out to the right here. The suspect exits the passenger vehicle of the red car here in the screen. This officer that we see in front is the officer is going to take the shots. He's going to do it about directly in front of as they cross each other by that first window on the first floor. I'm going to try to advance it slowly. And it's here that he observes the firearm in the 16-year-old's hand. I can't see it, but that's what it says.
Okay.
So
Well,
right
if
about
that's to be
here is
true.
where the first shots are being fired. And it's by the officer.
Well,
And
if
watch
that's
as
to
he
be
tracks
true,
him.
yep. I'm looking at that. If that's to be true, then he's justified. And I would say no bill. You're running with a gun in your hand. That is even more of a threat than just turning around and trying to point it at him, because you have the ability to. I don't think you have to wait until someone necessarily is trying to turn around and point a firearm at you. All right, there's a viable threat. You already have suspicion that he committed a homicide. He has a gun in his hand. He's running from you, so of course he's non-compliant. So that's the way. Yeah, I say no bill.
Okay, no bill. Fidji, what do you think?
Yeah, no bill on that.
Big Ron.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no bill. Good shoot. I definitely the background information was helpful. I'm sure if we had some of our other hosts on tonight, we would hear something about backdrops and everything else. But yeah, no bill.
And the best I know, there was no other persons injured in this, no bystanders or anything like that. Since we're going to talk about backdrops, so but a no bill for Big Ron. We're no bill so far. Vet LT3, what do you think?
I will be that co-host that will talk about the backdrop, but I'll start with no bill. You get out of the car with a gun in your hand and you committed murder earlier in that day. Yeah. Was it Tennessee versus Garner? But I mean, a little talking to about the sergeant, the lieutenant, maybe about shooting with the backdrop on the move. You know, just careful with your shots. Nice, steady shots. But I mean, no, it's pretty good. No bill.
Okay. Jason, what do you think?
This is a 100% priority to life response. No bill whatsoever. You have a homicide suspect fleeing with a weapon. If they do not act, you'll probably have another homicide. They didn't
Explain that in more detail, Jason.
priority is life. So law enforcement functions on anytime you go call, you look at the priorities of life. The priorities of life are, the first one are the innocent. The second one is the innocent or bystanders. And then it goes to law enforcement, and then it goes, victims, innocent bystanders, law enforcement, and then the suspect is last. So when you're responding to something like this, where you have a homicide suspect who just killed somebody, cops try to interact. They're almost obligated to respond to not make something else occur that harms those first two in the priorities of life list, which are innocent victims and bystanders.
So what threat did he pose? Because he wasn't shooting at the police officers. What threat did he pose by running away?
Public safety, a public safety threat. He's already committed a violent act. He's armed. This is somebody we do not want running around a community, taking another victim in his path.
Does it matter the alleged offense in the alleged circumstances behind the original offense they were looking for him for? I mean, he didn't know. It wasn't like he shot somebody he had an argument with. He shot someone while he was committing a robbery. Would that make a person more dangerous?
Absolutely. He just committed a homicide, and you don't want an armed suspect in a community that killed somebody with intent running around with a weapon from the police, because you're going to end up with a barricaded suspect. You're going to end up with a hostage situation. You're going to end up with a shooting, whatever. Maybe that's a violent felon running who is armed. You can't let that threat go into the community. You have to protect the innocent and the bystanders.
Let me ask you another difficult question. As a police officer, and it's happening, we go back and put a stopwatch to it. I mean, that wasn't a sped up video. That's happening in real time. And the amount of the time the officers have to process information, is it a concern if a suspect is running away? Does that add another problem to in a police officer's mind when a suspect is running away and they have to use deadly force while they're fleeing?
Not in this circumstance, no. It'd be like if you went into an active shooter and somebody is actively, killed people or killed a person, and they're fleeing from you with a weapon in their hand. It doesn't matter if they're facing you or running away. That is a public safety concern that needs to be addressed right now.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. No bill, and I agree on the same grounds that I don't think that the person presented an imminent or immediate threat to police officers. He was evading. Shooting someone when they evade, Tennessee versus Garner. I think Vet mentioned that they used deadly force to apprehend. This time, deadly force was used to prevent someone who. And the reason I asked if it meant something or made a difference to you, Jason, that he killed someone in the commission of a robbery versus killing someone that he had an argument with. I think that comes into play that if you have the propensity, or it's alleged, or there's good probable cause to believe you killed someone for nothing more than a burglary, that means you have little value for human life. So that person being on the at large with a firearm in and of itself, I think, is a danger to the public. But no bill for me. Okay, guys, we're going to get into a little different types of videos. We won't have that play up in the bottom or at the end of the videos. These are all actual releases from agencies, direct releases from agencies. So we're going to get they're going to be telling us about it. But I tell you what, let's jump in the first one. I may have to, this is from the Grand Teton Park. These are park rangers. And this one has got quite a bit of information. So I may fast forward through some of it once we've got the gist of it. It holds pretty long. But let's go to Grand Teton National Park.
This is the National Park Service Community Briefing, officer-involved shooting, body-worn camera recording for Yellowstone National Park, Canyon Village, on Thursday, July 4th, 2024, at 8:05 a.m. This briefing is intended to provide the public with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred in Yellowstone National Park on Thursday, July 4th, 2024. You are about to view relevant recordings from the involved.
Let's get
more than 1,200 federal law enforcement officers who work to protect people. And
We're so good. We're so good. Let's get past that. We're wonderful. You should listen to us because we're that way.
Montana and Idaho. Authorized Lucas Bariah Fussner, also a concession employee, allegedly.
Actually, this is the part where I should have started it. My apologies.
Communications that a concession employee had been unwillingly held by an individual for several hours on the late evening of July 3rd. The individual, later identified by NPS law enforcement officers as Samson Lucas Baraya Fussner, also a concession employee, allegedly came to the employee's residence in Canyon Village armed with a knife and handgun. The report also indicated that Fussner threatened to kill the employee and target the employee dining room in Canyon Village the following day. The employee dining room, or EDR, is the primary food and beverage location for Canyon-based employees of Xanterra Parks and Resorts. After Fussner left, the employee moved to a secure location and sought help. The following audio is from a 911 call to Yellowstone Interagency Communications Center made by a Xanterra security guard. Fussner and the concession employee were both employed by Xanterra.
911 emergency. What is your exact location?
Hey, the incident is going to be at Canyon Lodge in the Grizzly downstairs bathroom. This is security from Canyon.
So you're at the Grizzly?
I'm on my way to Grizzly dorm right now.
Okay, and what are you calling? So, yeah, Grizzly dorm?
Correct.
And what are you calling to report?
A female employee is with some other people in the female bathroom downstairs. She said a guy is threatening to kill her and shoot up the EDR tomorrow.
NPS law enforcement officer.
Sorry about that. I actually hit that. I meant to mute. But what I wanted to say is that entire 911 call, how long that took and how long it was, the dispatcher had no idea why she was calling, is another reason we should have 3D response in schools. When people are panicked or people are calling and they don't know the full information, sometimes it slows down what your response is. I just wanted to throw that out there.
A female employee is with some other people in the female bathroom downstairs. She said a guy is threatening to kill her and shoot up the EDR tomorrow.
NPS law enforcement officers responded immediately to the Xanterra employee dorms and searched the surrounding area for Fussner. The employee told officers that Fussner planned to carry out mass shootings at the EDR and July 4th events outside of the park. Yellowstone Interagency Communications Center notified law enforcement agencies from surrounding jurisdictions. With Fussner at large, officers were strategically deployed to protect areas frequented by park visitors and concession employees. By the early hours of July 4th, over 20 NPS law enforcement officers, including the Yellowstone Grand Teton Special Response Team, began searching for the suspect in and around Canyon Village, including the area around the employee dining room. The crisis negotiation team from Yellowstone Grand Teton was activated, and an NPS victim advocate was requested to assist. While searching for Fussner, NPS law enforcement officers located Fussner's unoccupied and unlocked vehicle in the main Canyon Village parking lot. Officers found an unsecured handgun near the center console and driver's seat in plain view. At 8:05 a.m., Fussner emerged from the woods with a semi-automatic rifle and encountered an NPS law enforcement officer near the Canyon Lodge. Fussner fired at officer number 3. Note, officers number 1 through number 3 are numbered in the order that they fired at Fussner. After shooting at officer number 3, Fussner moved directly towards the loading dock, firing through the doorway into the hall at officer number 1. Officer number 1 returned fire and was shot by Fussner during this exchange. Officer number 2 could not return fire due to officer 2's position in the hall. The photograph on the left is officer number 1's approximate view of the loading dock when Fussner shot officer number 1. Investigators documented multiple entry and exit holes from gunfire. The photograph on the right is damage to the interior wall behind Officer Number 1's location. Many bullets penetrated consecutive walls of the building when Fussner fired at Officer Number 1.
A lot of bullets.
The body-worn camera recordings in this community briefing video are from 3 NPS law enforcement officers.
Let's get to the video. This lady's boring. I should actually apply there and see if they need any help with voiceovers on their videos.
So it did capture Officer.
Yeah, I believe they do.
This shooting.
Sensitive ears.
I feel you would bring more views with that nice Southern voice.
That's what I'm thinking.
Are you good? Okay. Is he on the ground? Hey, go upstairs. Move. You go. Go.
The next slide shows the same video slowed down to allow the viewer to clearly see Officer Number 2 encountering Fussner. Officer Number 2 is firing a semi-automatic rifle. Fussner is armed with a semi-automatic rifle.
And there he is.
They really make that bot say fully semi-auto.
Do you think that's a bot? I think that's a real person.
In the video footage before Officer Number 2 activates the body-worn camera, Officer Number 3 rounds the corner of the building and fires at Fussner. Fussner falls to the ground.
Fussner's in a bad position right here.
The following video is from Officer Number 2. You will see Officer Number 2 move back through the Canyon Lodge and exit onto the loading dock. The video shows Fussner now on the ground.
Information back at the EDR. What do we got? I need one EMS. He's been hit in the one EMS.
Now, these are National Park Service federal police officers.
The following video is from Officer Number 4. You will see Officer Number 4 move from a location and remove the semi-automatic rifle from Fussner. Officer Number 2 provides cover from behind a dumpster at the loading dock. Officer Number 4 then searches for officer number 1 to check on the officer's injuries. The audio begins when officer number 4 activates the body-worn camera.
You're right. It's not a bot, but it's the most monotone person I've ever heard in my life. Besides,
No, I think I've got a shot. Get my application in. I agree.
Where?
Jason, I want you to pay attention to the tactics and tell me what you
Secure the
think about them.
firearm. Cover. Here. Yeah, firearm's right here. I'm gonna go to. Hey! Yes! Firearm's right behind you.
yeah, I was gonna say their movement and communication is just spot on. In my opinion, I don't know much.
You in there? With you. Where is? Yep, we're good. All right. All right. All right.
The next slide shows the same video slowed down to allow the viewer to clearly see the semi-automatic rifle found on Fussner.
Well, I think that's kind of beating a dead horse. Anybody have doubts there's a rifle by his body? There it is. Well, Vet, let's go with you. What do you think? I mean, they're going to detail every officer's position that responded to that call, but I think we're done at this point with the suspect and those who engaged him directly. But Vet, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the delay on my phone, having to watch the video on my laptop. But yeah, no bill. I really love their communication, them covering each other. Everything just is really spot on. The only nitpick I can do is the one officer in the first video that kept removing his hand from his dominant hand off of the grip of his rifle and trying to communicate. You know, use your non-dominant hand. But I mean, that's like nitpicking at the maximum. But yeah, no bill.
It is. I agree. That is some nitpicking at the maximum. But you're not wrong. When you're in contact, you want to maintain the ability to respond, and that would be with your dominant hand. So it's no bill. And I don't think, in this one, guys, I don't think does anybody believe that there's any question whether the response was proper? I don't think so. I mean, this guy's taken shots at, threatened, and made threats, and then looked like he was there to be good with his threats and engaged law enforcement in an exchange. So I think the shoot is justified. I don't think there's a real argument for that. But we can talk about tactics. What do you want to tell us about it, Corey? How about Fidji?
Yeah, that's a no, Bill. I'm sorry that first officer was shot. Glad they got that. Whatever it was. Put him down.
I'm back.
The cops,
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead and finish up,
yeah,
Fidji.
cops seem coordinated very well around a tight area like that. No other guests getting hurt or anything. That was a good deal. So, yeah, Bill. Glad he's dead.
Very good. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, no bill. Of course, you've seen the rifle right next to the suspect. My only nitpick, if we're going to talk about any type of tactics, when he shot right there, I just seen the rifle go down. I figured if you're going to own that corner, you need to own that corner and keep that corner. That's just me nitpicking, but pretty sure we can talk about that. But no bill, and I'm glad he saved the other officer's life. I don't know if we get a chance to talk about it, but there was a police officer killed today here in the Chicagoland area of Oak Park, Illinois. So we can talk about that probably a little bit later when we get through some of these videos.
I'm trying to see where you're talking about where he gave ground up by not securing. I mean, he's engaged.
Yep. Did he lower it down at that point?
Footage before officer
I don't know
number
that he
2
was in
activates
contact at that
the
point.
body
Yeah,
worn
get lower
camera.
towards the end, I guess.
Officer number 3
Yeah, I would figure that whether he's in contact or not, when he starts to move towards that doorway, I figured that his rifle should be up if he's going to own that corner. If he's going to cut that corner on the outside to see where the suspect is at, if he was going out there, I think he should have owned that corner. Because it looked like he was moving towards it a little bit first. It's a little fuzzy, but that's what I felt.
Okay, I'll buy that. Big Ron, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with everybody else with this. No bill. Definitely good coordination. I didn't see anybody sweeping anybody's back ends with muzzles as they were coming around each other. Definitely kept the muzzles on target. So I'll definitely go with no bill and pretty good tactics.
Jason.
This one's a lot to digest for me, actually. Do you know how long when the 911 call came in, when the officers got information of this going on until this incident happened by chance? Is it hours or a day, or is it?
No, I think the 911 call details threats and activities that had occurred the day prior. And evidently this person either remained on property or came back the following day, and then they call 911. This is the initial response from the 911 call. First officer makes the encounter in the parking lot, gets rounds shot at him. I think they called it officer number 3, and then he goes from the wood line back into the building, as we see here. Let me pause that. Where officer number 4 is the travel direction of Fuster. He goes to
Joe, I get all that. What I'm asking is, did he make these threats the day before, and was law enforcement notified of these threats the day before? Or did the call came in like an hour before this guy showed up? That's what I'm curious about.
I believe the call come in when he showed back up, and that's the first time law enforcement were aware of the threats that he had made. No report was made prior to that. I think he comes back on the property, or they see him there. That's when they make the 911 call, say, hey, this guy was threatening to kill everybody yesterday. We just didn't tell anyone.
So then the first mistake is see something, say something. If this guy made these comments the day before, that law enforcement could have handled this 150 times better with time to respond. As far as police tactics go, I'm not mad about what they did. They did what they needed to do. I thought they did a good job. What I also am interested, a lot of people in your room right now, he's firing a 223 or a 556 from outside, passing through multiple doors, and you guys can see the wainscoting or whatever, where there's all those bolt holes coming through. The building's not prepared for this situation, and I don't think the cops are responding to something that if people would have called in earlier, they could have actually handled this much more efficiently with a search team. And I'm talking helicopters. You find the car. You give a police department 4, 5, 6 hours, even 2 hours, and this act doesn't happen. So that's my only complaint is, when the first complaint came in, make the goddamn phone call. Don't sit on it until you see him show back up again. But as far as the shooting goes, no bill at all. Cops did what they needed to do based on the circumstances they had. But I think it could have been a very much different outcome if people just spoke up a little bit.
I absolutely agree. I think the officer's response was pretty good. They had good communication. They weren't bunched up, and they tactically, I thought, were sound. So I've got no issues with it, and I absolutely think it's a no bill whatsoever. No bill. But let's go to hey, let's go to Fort Collins, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Jeff Svoboda, the police chief in Fort Collins. Today I'm releasing body-worn camera footage from an officer-involved shooting on July 21st, 2024. On this Sunday afternoon, our officers were dispatched to a single vehicle crash in which the vehicle had rolled over. Prior to our arrival, the caller told us that the driver had exited the vehicle and began walking away with a weapon. That weapon turned out to be an AR-15 style rifle. Our officers ultimately engaged this subject, and there was an exchange of gunfire. During this exchange of gunfire, one of our officers was shot. He was quickly extracted so that he could get medical attention. The subject then ran away towards the Grandview Cemetery along the Fort Collins golf course. Other officers engaged this subject inside the cemetery and ultimately shot and killed him. I want to remind the viewers that this was on a Sunday afternoon with many people out for a round of golf or simply on a walk. This call quickly unfolded, as you will see. Our officers were responding, thinking they were going to help someone who'd been in a crash. And instead they were met by someone who wanted to bring violence to our community. This call for service clearly illustrates the professionalism, the training, and the bravery of officers of Fort Collins Police Services.
Is there any kids in the car?
The address of the emergency.
Hi, it's on the corner of Mountain and Bryan.
Okay, can you tell me the phone number you're calling from, please? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
There was a rollover vehicle accident. The passenger or the driver appears to be awake. Are there other people in the car? No? Okay.
Can you tell if anyone is injured?
He's talking, and I told him to stay in the car.
Okay.
He is bleeding from his head, but he is talking. But
Okay.
I told him to stay in the car.
Is it just a
in
single
case he has a
vehicle
neck
involved?
injury. Yes, a single vehicle.
Okay.
Are you still okay? Yeah, he's still awake, but he is bleeding, and his eyes are, and he's kind of clumping over.
What kind
Sir,
of
are you
vehicle
still
is it?
okay? I think he may have just lost consciousness, but he is bleeding.
Okay.
And his neck.
Okay, yeah, keep him still. Tell him not to move at all. Now tell me, what kind of vehicle
Okay.
is that?
It's a BMW,
What color?
a silver.
And is it on its wheels or is it on
No,
its roof?
so do I. It's on its wheels, but it's fully it was 100% full
Did you see exactly what happened?
rollover. Yes, I mean I saw it, the car flip. I don't know how it happened, but I saw the car
Okay,
flip.
but it was only that one vehicle. He didn't hit another car or
Yes,
something
sir,
else?
are you still okay? Okay.
He's still
He
conscious.
did not hit another car. Yes, he's still conscious.
He's still talking to you? Okay, stay on the line for me. I've got to update
Yes.
the responders. They're on the way. Just hold on the phone. Don't hang
Okay.
Am I back with you? I've got lots of help on the way. How's he?
Yes. So, hey, sir, I left the scene because the guy got out of the car and has a very large gun.
I'm sorry, the driver of the car has a gun?
Yes, the driver got out of the car. He has a big gun. I don't know. All of us
What's
ran
he-
away. I ran back to my house.
What's he doing with it?
I don't know. He just got out.
The
I was like,
driver-
don't get out of the car. I did. Yes.
Got out and has a gun. Okay, okay.
Yes,
ma'am,
it's like a big
I'm going to update my
rifle or
responders.
something.
Hold on the line, okay? Stay on
We
the
all,
Ma'am, are you still there?
yes.
Okay, yeah, I've got all my responders updated. Did you see what he was doing with the gun? What, did he point it at anyone?
No, he was just holding it. So another guy went around to the passenger side, and I was on the driver's side, and I was like, stay in the car, sir, like, help is on the way. And then the passenger started saying, like, you guys. And then he got out of the car and holding this big gun. He was not pointing it at anybody.
Okay.
He had two dogs in the car also. And then I just started running because
Good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I've updated all of my officers. I've got to talk to them more on the radio, so I'm going to let you go. What is your name? Thank you so much for calling this in. We've got officers and responders in the area about to contact him.
Okay, and they need a statement. I live like a block away, but I had my 5-year-old with me, so I went home. But
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I know this was a difficult situation there, but thank you so much for the information. They
Yeah,
might give you a
it
phone
looks
call
like
if
they're
they
on the scene now.
If they need a statement from you, they might give you a call. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
AR-15.
Yeah, AR-15. Okay.
King 301. They're saying he went westbound behind a tree with an AR-15. I'm at Mountain and Bryan. Field of fire is going to be to the west. Edward Ocean Paul 149.
Almost unconscious. And then they rolled out of the car and said, "Fuck this," and grabbed his rifle and went down.
Okay.
Okay. They're in between the trees.
One, he's wearing a black shirt, blue jeans. He's still walking westbound towards the cemetery. I cannot see the rifle from here. There's a ton of people walking around. I don't know if we can get those roads shut down.
All right, we're going to approach. I'm going to turn my lights off and we'll... If we could get somebody to block off the next road to the west. Looks like he might be drinking a beer as well. He's walking to the cemetery right now. Oh, shit.
Reno 1, he's pointing his rifle at us. What's that? He's pointing his rifle right at us.
Okay. Is that him or you? Shots fired. Is he down?
Oh, fuck.
Sam 204, he's shooting at our car. Rapid deploy SWAT.
I must have got hit in my arm or something. My right arm is dead.
Okay, back up. Sam 204, I need a Bearcat to me now. Officer's been hit in the arm.
I'm going to pause it there for a second. Jason, a question for you. How long would it take you to get a SWAT call out and a Bearcat to your location in a situation like this?
Minimum 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Throw a tourniquet on.
Yep. Trying. Oh, fuck.
He's still behind the tree.
Yeah.
Shit. Next thing you know, I need eyes on the suspect. I can't see him. Okay, he's running to the cemetery. Hey, I need a car up to me now. 1734 to extract the officer. Suspect's running into the park. Car down there, but direct. Come to me now, immediately. Cross over the median. Hey, car that just came westbound. The suspect's behind you in the cemetery. Get him out of here. Go, go, go. Get out of here. Go, 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 go. Sam 204, I need all units that are available. Just start setting up a perimeter around the park. I need the Bearcat to me now.
So he's all alone out there?
No, officers are responding. He's got one unit in front of him. He got in with another person, 2 other people. Leave him alone. He is get out of bomb.
Hey, yeah, get down, get behind that tree. I don't know. I'll get some cover, man. He just shot up my car, and he hit one of our officers.
One of your officers hurt?
Yeah, we got him extracted.
Do you want our SWAT team too?
I don't know, man. Give me just a second.
Okay. We worked on the west side of the cemetery and set up containment around the cemetery. We got 4 units here at Mountain, and I'll start working the promises. Right? I got you.
Okay, hold on.
We're set up on the cemetery entrance on the east side of the cemetery. Do you have anybody off the drone?
Sam 204. Suspect is a white male, blue shirt, blue jeans, carrying a rifle. Last seen westbound from Mountain into the cemetery.
You want to try and
I need the
start
Bearcat to Mountain and Fry. Mountain and Fry.
Oh, I got eyes on.
I see him.
I see him 14. Patch the channel. Zebra 311, we just saw him. He's running eastbound towards us. He's on the eastbound east side. Eastbound. And patch us and no CSO. Patch your channels.
Okay, guys, get some cover.
We got a blue car coming in this way. That's them. Say 14 to kind of 11 needs to make a review in the court.
All right, I think, and this is running kind of real time.
Okay, I see him. I see him. Careful, he's pointing back. Get some cover.
Yeah, he's right there.
Male is in the park. He's pointing back at his rifle towards us.
Center of the park.
Okay.
He's going to be.
Look, what's this right here?
I mean, he's already in the right area.
Looks like him. Yeah, that looks like him.
No, every unit, just hold your spot. Don't go into the park.
Use these
Don't know
covers.
where he's at.
Use these stones for cover, bro. Yeah. We're 24, 287. We got eyes on him walking south through the park. No, stand by. Shots fired. Blue shot away. Suspect fell down. We're not sure if we hit him or not.
287 shots fired. Suspect went down. We're trying to approach.
Hey, hold up, August.
Where you guys are approaching from the
I'm
west.
with you. You got us straight up. Right here, good. He's laying down behind me. Okay, let's get some cover here.
Last units. Where are you at?
We are west of Taft, approximately 40 yards from our vehicle, which is parked in the cemetery.
Okay, we're going to be approaching from Mountain. Just tell us which way to go.
424. We are field of fire to the east. If you guys are on mountain, start heading south towards the golf course. We're about 20 yards north of the golf course.
Okay, but is he down?
Yeah.
Oh, here.
He fell after mine, so I don't know if it was.
Is the suspect down? I can tell.
Do you have eyes on him? Yeah. He's down, but we have not confirmed whether he's been hit or not. He hasn't popped up yet.
Okay, hold right there. Let's get the Bearcat here, and then we'll push up to him.
Yeah.
So Bearcat. Okay, I need the Bearcat to pull into.
Everybody had time to go get a fresh drink and sandwich while you wait on the.
Hey,
Send to a port. After we take the suspect into custody, we can send medical down to the Bearcat.
You need another pair? Ready?
Okay, hey, if he does anything, then let us know. We're gonna pop on him.
I got eyes now.
Nolan.
I got a different idea on that.
Okay. Okay, you guys ready? Yes, sir. My hands ready? Yep. Okay. Don't move. Don't move. Okay.
Right.
Go ahead. Hands, grab him.
Grab another one. He is dead. All right, there was a lot of things going on in this video, but I think we're to the crux of it. So let's go to Corey. Do you think officer's force was warranted, and do you have anything else to say about this in general?
Nope. No bill, and no bill, and again, no bill. No, he took his rifle, shot at the police officers. He shot one police officer. He was showing a willingness to kill police officers. And you have public safety, public endangerment, and guess what? I don't know if he's under or above, but they stopped the threat. They went up to him. They got there the best way they could. They had to put force on force. I mean, maybe I'm thinking more of a military tactic of suppression fire, but also I don't know how. I mean, it seemed like forever when you're getting shot at or you're in necessarily a gun battle that the backups or the Bearcat, that seemed like it took forever. But I can't say how far away they are. I can't say what their response time with that is. But you also had officers that were pinned down by a guy that was obviously trying to take himself out. Was suicide by cop or anything else. But guess what? They prevailed. Hopefully the officer's okay, and he's at where he's supposed to be at, whether he's above or under.
His time in service is expired for the suspect, and the officer survived and recovering from his gunshot wound on that.
I'm glad the officer survived, and he earned what he got.
Very good. Fidji, what do you think?
I agree with Corey on that one. That was a no bill, and guys waving a gun, he's shooting at the. Did he actually shoot at the officers? I mean, not that it matters to me. Yeah, he did, right?
Yeah, that's how the officer got a hole put in him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good. Another one down. Don't have to worry about him.
All right.
No bill.
Moving right along, Vet LT3. What do you think?
Definitely no bill. Lot of video to go through, but yeah, definitely no bill. When they moved to the tree, the motorcycle officer and the other officer that was in front, a little nonchalant with finding cover, I guess because they weren't shot at like the initial officer who was definitely seeking cover. But all around real good. No bill. Also, if you're waiting on a Bearcat and waiting on SWAT, which if Jason, obviously he knows what he's talking about, and so do you, since you were a police officer as well, 45 minutes to an hour out, you need to handle that business. And which it seems like they pushed forward, they did what they could, but But yeah, the other two officers just not seeking cover, kind of nonchalant, kind of threw me off a little bit, but everything else was good.
Well, you're critical tonight, Vet. I'm going to give you that. Very critical. I would say if they didn't get shot, then either their concealment or their cover was ample, and I'll give them a passing grade for that. You know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to move on to Big Ron.
I just want to make sure, Corey, that's a no bill, right? It's definitely a no bill for me. Also, like the rest of my cohorts in here. Again, another case of FAFO. As you say, Joe, he was DRT. That's definitely a big dirt nap for him.
Sure enough, and I think we're all already back at Jason. Jason, you want to give some rundown on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little critical, if you don't mind. I think his call sign was S some number, so he's obviously a sergeant. Calling for a Bearcat and SWAT or whatever, I mean, that's not the moment to do so. What I would have done is, number one, you have him contained into a cemetery. I'm setting up a perimeter on that cemetery. I'm going to contain him through a police presence around the edges as much as possible. You can get a drone up in the air with heat sensors or a helicopter much faster than your SWAT team or your Bearcat's going to get there. And quite frankly, when the Bearcat got there, they didn't really use it for the approach. They just, they drove closer, but they just walked up openly. I think body bunkers are probably available. I'm also getting canines there. I'm going to be staging medics right away and immediately. And the one thing I will say that I do like the constant conversation of get cover. That's the one thing I did like that he did, but I think he went to resources that are too far out from the moment that he was in, and I would have been asking for resources much differently than what he did. But the first and foremost thing is perimeter, closing roads, keeping public out of that area, protect the community, and then focus on locating the suspect through dog, helicopter, drones. There's a lot of resources available that I think he bypassed on, but I'm not ripping on them. Just no bills. I would have handled it differently.
Jason, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the first officer that was there, didn't he have a dog in his or was that another video? I thought he had a dog in his vehicle.
Well, now his vehicle absolutely said K9. I'll get you back to it. It's him getting out. See K9. Let's let that run for a second. Yeah, you can see the red there. Police dog, do not touch or do not approach, whatever it says. Okay, you bring up some good points, Jason, but I want to go backwards a bit. I want to welcome Harley. Harley is actually in the police academy in Texas, so he's a little familiar with the law and tactics and things. But you made a comment in the comments, Harley, that you said honestly you would have waited on a tourniquet. Are you talking about the officer that was shot?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but
we got you loud and clear.
Cool. The tourniquet, right? So I mean, tourniquets you're gonna put on. I know in the heat of the moment, you feel like you got shot. I mean, he didn't really, from what I could see, check. I didn't see blood gushing or pouring. He was still in the fight. He said his arm was dead. So in that scenario, I would have backed off and let his partner take over like he did. I would have patted, try to find or do like a little scrape to find out where I possibly got hit. And at that point, I saw that it wasn't gushing or something like that. So I wouldn't have tried to put that tourniquet on because it's 2 hours. There's no telling, because they're saying for the SWAT and stuff to get there 45 minutes to an hour. How long is it going to take an ambulance to get there? So I was thinking that if he put that on that quick, possibly could cause nerve damage after 2 hours, So obviously there wasn't really much blood gushing or nothing like that. He could have controlled it with something else. I would have waited to use that last scenario stuff.
What do you think about tactics? Got anything else to say about the response to this?
I think they did good. They took cover. They hid behind what they needed to, what they had. Um, Good call outs to each other. They were, weren't flashing each other. Had good muzzle control on most things, and I do like he said, the cover. They were always worried about cover, trying to keep that cover. I like that. All in all, good shoot. Um, yeah, I understand. I understand with him coming through, like SWAT took a little bit longer. It would be a little bit faster, a little bit easier. Just call in a bird, get it up, get it circling, and get your perimeter set up, and just keep communicating that part.
Okay. You know what? My criticism is the same as Harley and Jason's. If this was the sergeant, and I think it was, he was probably he's going to be the on-scene commander. When that happens and you have a situation like this, or a barricaded person, or you've got an armed suspect that's on the loose at large like this, but you could have an opportunity to contain him. The on-scene supervisor, the person in charge of that scene, should be on the radio relaying back, this is what I need. I need cars at this intersection, I need cars at that intersection. And he did a good job of telling where the suspect was in his frontline trace and where he was going. And he was planting the vehicles around to try to get it isolated or cordoned off. But Jason's right. Once you get it cordoned off, you've almost got, we got time to wait on SWAT now. We have time to wait to get dogs employed, and we can start tightening up our cordon or our circle. We can tighten that up as more assets arrive, but you're essentially trying to freeze time if you're not going to take care of it yourself, which in this situation would have not been good for police officers. So I have the same criticism as Jason. Jason, you want to make a comment on the tourniquet? It seems like officers now are trained to just slap a tourniquet on.
We trying to put it on ourselves. I think I disagree with the timeliness of the tourniquet. I think it's appropriate, but I would have got the injured person to cover. I like the fact he called in a squad to get him out of there. But we all carry our own tourniquets, and it would have been the officer's job who was hit to put his own tourniquet on, and we would provide cover. Unless he was mobile enough that he could put his own tourniquet on.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what happened. We're watching the video now. The struck officer applied self-aid to himself while the other officer pulled cover.
Oh, then I have zero problem with it at all. That's fine.
No, and to go back to you, Harley, to get a call out, to get that type of special equipment, it's not like the firehouse where all those officers are sitting playing cards waiting for a call to come in. They could be at other places. You've got to get to whatever location your loadout gear's in, get into your vehicle, and then move. It's not a quick response time. It relies, your SRT or your SWAT team is relying on the officers there and the assets that are on the street, the first responders, to contain the scene until they get there if they're not going to breach. If you had a barricaded person with a hostage, so to speak, most situations you're gonna back off that and let a negotiator come in and start trying to work on that. Just what they did with this. They brought in a negotiator. They had canines, didn't see them employed. But once they made contact in the cemetery, I think they knew this was over. It just waited on assets to get there to approach.
Oh yeah, 100%. I understand that one. But yeah, other than that, I like it all. I mean, everything that they did. Like again, though, there at the back when he was putting that tourniquet on, I wouldn't have stayed right there. I would have, moved center mass of the car, or try to get behind the tire, let my partner move forward right there,
That's
and
because you're a paramedic.
yeah, and not fiddle fart with the with your own tourniquet. It did take him a little bit, but we were also trained to put them on faster and everything else too, like that. So, and he was correct. Every officer here that has their own tourniquet, you're not going to use yours on your partners because then you're out with one. But also being medical side, everything else, so I've always keep an extra and everything else. So, yeah, I had no issue with it though. I mean, you could see that he had his guy there, keep an eye out, looking, surveying the area, keeping him safe, and then the extra squad to come pick him up. I do like that too, because then they get a chance to get him out, get him there to medical team faster. And I don't know how major the shot was on his arm, but if there was any nerve damage or anything like that, get it done faster, have a better chance of saving the limb.
Unless it's just almost impossible, police are going to get their own out pretty quick. If they have to self-evacuate, they won't wait. Wouldn't wait on an ambulance, honestly. If the ambulance is not right there, then they're going to load that officer up in a squad and get him to a medical facility. But let's go on to our next. Let's go to Dallas. Let's go to the great state of Texas, Dallas Police
Hey,
Department. Oh, go ahead.
so I want to say one thing before you go to that. I don't know if you remember, but there was another video where police officers actually got pinned down by a guy in the house. I don't know if you ever looked at that one.
I've seen several scenarios like that.
Okay. I'll see if I can find the video for you or whatnot, and see if you have probably seen it or whatnot. I'll send it to you DM.
Now, usually when you see those scenarios, if they're not actually doing it, one of the main concerns for officers and commanders on the scene is how do we get our injured officers out? If they've got to bring a Bearcat in, or if they've got to bring a vehicle with Kevlar vest hanging in the windows, I've seen that done as well. But that is a high priority concern if you've got officers down, is to get them out and get them medical attention and the best chance for survival.
Yeah, and both the officers were shot. I mean, they held their own. Yeah, I know they're still alive, but both of them were shot. They were pinned behind a car. They had to take cover behind the car. But we'll try. If you've seen it
Right.
before,
If you could find that video, I'm more than happy to take a look at it and we can evaluate it.
no problem.
Let's go to Dallas PD, North Texas, the great state of Texas.
I am Deputy Chief William Griffith of the Dallas Police Criminal Investigations Group. I will brief you on the details as we know them of the officer-involved shooting that occurred September 7, 2024 at 3131 Northwalk Avenue. This is the 6th Dallas police officer-involved shooting in 2024. On September 7, 2024, at approximately 8:15 p.m., Dallas police officers responded to a call at 3131 Norwalk Avenue about a man attempting to break into a second-floor apartment. The preliminary investigation determined witnesses from a neighboring apartment observed the unknown suspect knocking on a door and attempting to open it. The suspect climbed onto the balcony and tried to open the sliding door. He then returned to the front door and began banging on the door with a handgun. The witness called 911 and described the suspect as a Latin male in his early 20s, wearing a black cap, red shirt, blue jeans, and a black gun in his hand. Officers Mohammed Ritzi and Corey Adams arrived approximately 8:28 p.m. and observed a man matching the suspect description standing on the second floor balcony. The officers gave the suspect commands in English and Spanish for the suspect to show his hands, and he began to reach for his waistband. The suspect pulled a handgun from his waistband and in the direction of Officer Adams. Both officers then discharged their duty weapons at the suspect, striking him multiple times. Officers initiated first aid and called for Dallas Fire Rescue, who pronounced the suspect deceased at the scene. The suspect has been identified as 26-year-old Domingo Pop Pan. Pan's weapon was recovered at the scene and was later determined to be a replica firearm. Pan had no criminal history. No officers or any other persons were injured during this incident. This is an ongoing investigation being conducted by the Dallas Police Special Investigations Unit. The Dallas County District Attorney's Office was notified, responded, and will conduct their own investigation. The Office of Community Police Oversight was notified and responded to the scene. To be transparent, the Dallas Police Department is releasing the body-worn camera footage of this incident.
Hello, 911. This is Young. Do you need police? Fire? Hello.
Hola, ¿habla español?
No. Un momentito. And an apartment, what number? Okay. How can I help you?
¿Y cómo nos puede ayudar?
Hay un hombre con una pistola que quiere entrar. Yo vivo en el apartamento H103. Eso es un apartamento de un vecino y yo estoy aquí en mi casa y hay alguien que quiere entrar, está con una pistola, borracho, tomado, intentando abrir la puerta. ¿Entendió?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, there's a guy with a gun who seems to be drunk, trying to go into this apartment. I am in an apartment.
Is it in his hand, the gun?
Sí.
Es
Una pistola de mano, sí.
Yeah, he has a handgun.
Is the gun in his hand?
¿La pistola está en su mano o dónde está la pistola?
En la pistola, en la mano del hombre que lo vi. Estaba fuera de mi casa yo y tuve que entrar porque me dio miedo, que lo vi entrando al otro apartamento.
Yeah,
Él tiene el arma.
he had it in his hand. He had it in his hand. I saw him.
Okay. What is he wearing?
¿Qué está usando de ropa? ¿Qué lleva de ropa puesta?
Déjame ver si lo logro ver. ¿Qué lleva de ropa puesta? Ajá. A ver. No sé, tiene una, no, cierra eso ahí. Tiene una gorra puesta y imagínate tú, no lo puedo ver de aquí porque me entré para mi casa y le cerré todas las puertas, las ventanas y apagué las luces y todo. No se ve.
No, I don't remember, but he had a hat on.
What
and
color?
I came inside my house.
Red hat, yeah, red shirt.
When seconds count, English is the best.
Cap on, black cap, blue jeans.
¿Cómo?
He has a red shirt on, red shirt, black cap, regular blue jeans. I got on the back of them to have like the dazzle, like Western type kind.
Rhinestones?
Yeah, something like it's like a Western wear.
If I lived in another country, I'd learn that language.
Now I don't remember exactly what his shoes look like, but he does have all black 9mm in his hand. He's right now looking through the window. He's beating
Fun
the
fact:
door
America's the only
with
country
gun
that
itself.
caters.
He cocked it.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, Asian?
He's Hispanic. He's dark Hispanic. Young. He's young. I think he's under the influence too because he was having trouble going up the stairs.
You're right.
his name
My dad
3
had to
times.
learn Portuguese just to live in Portugal. So
Is there somebody out here with a gun? You speak English?
No.
¿Persona con pistola aquí? No. ¿No? ¿Está bien? Okay. ¿Está bien? ¿Está bien?
Sí.
¿No persona con pistola aquí?
Ay, no sé, espérate, voy para adentro.
No, ok.
No, espérate, me encierro ahora mismo.
Oh, five. It said this building is.
Hey, show me your hands. Put your hands up.
Manos!
Manos!
Manos! No!
No!
No! Charlie 537, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Holy. Hands! Don't go up to him, don't go up to him. I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you. 37, give me some cover, code 3. I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm with you. Watch his hands, watch his hands. Watch his hands. I got the gun right here. It's right next to him. I'm right next to you. I'm gonna go up to next to him and I'm gonna kick the gun. I'm gonna cuff him. Glove up first. Glove up first. I got him. He doesn't have a gun. This is just a fork on him. Senora!
Dallas Police, is everybody okay?
Senora, are you okay? God damn it, dude. Fuck. Senor. Senor.
37, do we have any other suspects?
Negative suspects. Single suspects down.
37, send the FR out here. We're at the apartment. It's gonna be right behind Norwalk.
The hell's 5?
It said this building is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, show me your hands. Put your hands up.
Manos.
Manos.
Manos. No.
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 Set 4 suspects down. All right, you're.
I'm gonna let the video play out, but I want to get on to this and we get one more video in before the end of the show. But I want to go to you, Corey.
Well, I do want to say, try saying that name 3 different times. Domingo Papan. I don't know if I tried to do it, but no bill. And yes, he did reach for the plastic weapon. There's no way you can tell at that time. Only thing I should say is, why did they call a mental health profession? They can speak Spanish at that time, so they can evaluate him while he pulls out a plastic pistol that everybody's supposed to know.
Sit on the steps and talk it out.
Yeah. So they
can talk it out. Yeah.
Let him talk it out, and and find out that he was having a mental episode, and then he was probably on some drugs and hallucinating, whatever. But no bill.
Probably fleeing oppression from the Southern Hemisphere. I mean, purely a victim.
Purely, it obviously has to be. So like I said, no bill. That was clean. Only thing is, of course, it's hard when you get that type of backstop, but at the time he pulled out that pistol, your life is on the line. I'm glad that everyone inside the building is okay. Bad guy is down, and again, try saying that name 3 times.
Boy, you guys and your backstops, y'all killed me. Okay, so no bill. I'll go with that. Vet, give us your opinion.
No bill. Yep. No bill. It's hard to communicate with the language barrier right there. But all I got to say is, obviously no bill on the video itself, but if I just can expand on something else, what I said during the video, my dad's in Portugal. Literally, for him to be living there, it's mandatory for him to learn Portuguese to be there. Come on now. You can't expect every American, especially someone in law enforcement, to learn the language. I mean, yes, would it be helpful? Of course. But that's a lot of time and money to have your officers do that. We should have citizens that come to this country learn English, even if it's broken, just to help in especially situations like this. They couldn't even say anything to him. When the officer knocked on the door and said, "Senor, are you okay?" He couldn't even finish the sentence in Spanish. So it's just frustrating in that aspect. But definitely no bill.
So you think people that immigrate here to the United States, that should be a requirement, is to learn rudimentary English, be able to communicate?
I mean, if my father, who is American and also Puerto Rican, he's Hispanic, and he's living in Portugal because that's where he wanted to live his retirement, they are making him go to classes on his own dime to learn Portuguese for him to have citizenship there, so he doesn't have to keep coming back to America and get his visa and everything else, so he can have dual citizenship. Yeah, they're making him do that. So, I mean, if other countries are doing that, we can too, and it's not racist. And this is coming from a brown guy, so people can take it as it is.
Very well. I think there's some practical reasons behind that. Let's go to Fidji.
Yeah, I know, Bill. There's not much left to say after Corey goes.
He runs it down
He
pretty
covers
thorough.
all those bases. Huh?
He runs it down pretty thorough.
Yeah.
Okay. No Bill there. Big Ron. What do you think?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a no bill for me. And to kind of touch on what Vet's saying, actually under the U.S. citizenship test, you are required to know a basic understanding of English with writing, speaking, and understanding the language. So it's required here like everywhere else, unless you don't take the citizenship test to be here. And with that being said, out of the 7 countries I've been to, we're the only ones that cater to Spanish. Everybody else is English speaking.
Yeah, quite frankly, even countries I've been to, that predominant language is not English. English is still spoken.
English is the international language of air traffic control, maritime, and business. So that would account for that.
And all things great. You're right. Let's go to where are we at? I think I've covered all of those. Harley, when you think about this from DPD,
Oh yeah, no bill. Good shoot. Obviously, you saw the gun. He did. You flash a gun at a cop. I mean, even if it is a toy gun, they can't see it from that far. There's dark lights flashing up there. I mean, yeah, good shoot. The only thing I'd say is because they're kind of training us now in the academy is to render aid. Obviously, neither one of the cops were shot. So in that scenario, they're putting gloves on. They do check him for no pulse. They see that there's no pulse. At that time, we would start CPR and get something rolling to make it an effort to make it look good on what was happening. Not just dead man, leave him there.
I want
You
to
got
ask you a question on that. When you say CPR, are you talking about chest compressions? You doing lip
yeah.
locks?
No, just chest compressions. Yeah, just chest compression, no lip locks there.
If I remember correctly, I don't think lip locking, as you guys like to say, it's actually required anymore. I think that's a
It's not.
secondary now.
Yeah, it is not now. Especially after COVID and everything else. They've come to do researches, and high quality chest compressions are actually the best thing. Yeah, I mean, obviously we do need oxygen, but at the time you need that heart pumping. So they've come to realize that chest compressions are the best thing that you can do. So just where I've been at and through everything else, in that point scenario, as you saw, neither one of the cops were injured. Nothing happened like that. They checked, they found no pulse. At that time, we would rendered aid and try chest compressions. I do understand that, yeah, he's dead right there. I couldn't see because it was blurred out where they shot him. Obviously, if you have a DRT, headshot, doing chest compression on that's not going to do nothing. But I mean, if it was a body shot or something like that, you would still try chest compressions just to, I wouldn't say like make it look good, but like if this did go to court or something like that, it shows that you did try, you made effort to help him out no matter what.
You should learn the phrase, I observed injuries not compatible with life.
Yeah.
That would be if your wig split open. I'm not going to do chest compressions on you. I mean, I can't bring you back from the dead for sure. Jason, what do you think about this one?
I'm good shoot. I'm not doing anything medical to this guy until that room needs to be cleared. They're knocking on that door. If that's where the call came from, that room needs to be cleared. And as we saw in a couple of videos, when you talk about cover, I don't know if there's somebody inside there. If a round went through that wall, I'm clearing that room. I'm actually going to boot that door, and I'm going to go in and check for it's an exigent circumstance that you just fired rounds at somebody. I'm booting that door and I'm making sure there's nobody injured inside that room or maybe another threat before I even consider doing any sort of first response medically to that guy. That is not a secure scene at that time. I'm not going to expose myself to another threat or somebody inside, an innocent that might be dying. I'm not doing that. I'm going to secure the scene first. That's your first priority. But overall, great job. I just think they needed to clear that room.
So you're saying prior to life-saving measures, security, and the priorities of work, it would be secure and
Yes.
then life-saving, correct?
Yep.
I
Secure the
agree
scene.
with that.
I agree with that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I have nothing to say negative about the way the officers handled this. I do want to go back to the dispatch call. How much time the video wasn't as long as the dispatch call, and I bring this up because it's one of the points that I really like about 3D response. 3D response takes this element out, and if you've been around dispatch, if you've been in law enforcement, and I would line up 100 officers, and I think 100 officers would agree with me. There's a lot of time lost and a lot of miscommunications on 911 calls between dispatchers not understanding what someone is saying. In this case, what had to happen in Texas, they have a Spanish line. So they literally have to, when she said, hold on, she's calling another person that can listen to that's tapped into that phone call so that they can hear the Spanish and they can relay it. They can translate back and forth. This all takes time. Go back to 3D response. You push the button and everybody has all the information they need to know to make wheels start turning towards your location. Because while they're on the phone, nobody's heading this way. Well, there's a portion of the call they'll start to head somebody that way, but in the initial part of this phone call, there's a good 2 or 3 minutes that there's no officer that's heading your way to come save you. And if this guy did have a real gun, he was really kicking in the door, he would have been inside by the time the officers got there, in my opinion. But absolutely, no bill.
Totally agree.
I'm not beating the guy up on not doing chest compressions. I think this guy was probably a DRT for a show, but it is a good term to learn. I observed injuries not compatible with life. That way you acknowledge the fact that I didn't give him CPR because he was already gone. He was sitting down with Jesus by the time I got there. But what do we got here? Man, we're not going to have enough time to do one more. I can play one more and we can talk about it in an X space. Or we can finish this out the last, you know what, I don't have time. All of these are going to be longer than 3 minutes. I do have time for this, though. Our friend Dexter Taylor, those of you that know, he is serving a 10-year prison sentence for building his own firearms in New York. They treated him like a violent felon and put him into New York State Penitentiary as in a high security prison, by the way, for literally not purchasing permits for firearms that had never left his home. He built them and they were trophy pieces. The first time they were fired is when law enforcement seized them and took them to the range to fire them so they could tell the court this is a functional firearm. But we have some hoodies. I don't know. Can you guys, you can't hear me right now. I'm running this one.
What about hats?
We have hats too. Anybody's interested on X, shoot me a DM. We have the free Dexter, or I Stand With Dexter Taylor hats. We also have the hoodie that was designed by Dexter Taylor himself, matter of fact. The cost of the hoodie is $38. That's the cost of the hoodie and the shipping. We've added $12 on top of that. That $12 goes to Dexter Taylor's legal fund. For those of you who haven't been catching up or have not been caught up with his case, he is literally waiting on the last bit of $50,000 to file his appeal in the federal court system. Those that have heard me talk over the last couple of weeks, there was a decision out of Illinois by a federal court judge that flambees requirement about purchasing permits after the fact, which what Illinois law requires. And by the way, Dexter Taylor had made most of these firearms before the law went into effect. When he built them, there was no law for a requirement for a permit to do what he was doing. But the law required anyone that was still in possession of said firearm, even a homemade firearm, had to go back after the fact and purchase these permits. The reason I bring in that Illinois judge destroyed that. He beat it to pieces, and it's going to go to the 7th Court of Appeals. Hopefully, we'll see some relief, maybe even on that end and on the federal level, because the Illinois assault weapons ban and the New York assault weapons ban, which is the same law, they're almost identical by verbatim. So they're very similar. So it's nice to see maybe some wins across the bow for some 2A and freedom-loving Americans. And the last thing I want to say about this video is that literally the bolo come out that this dude was running around in bedazzled jeans. That's got to be embarrassing to die in bedazzled jeans. That's no self-respecting man could do that.
Well, I think it would be even worse if if the man dies in panties. I mean, panties.
Okay, look, he's wearing bedazzled jeans. Are you really going to, how much you willing to put on it that he wasn't wearing panties?
I think it's worse if he has an apron on. That's not good.
No, that means he's a hardworking man. He's not in no trouble. He's put on an apron so his clothes don't get dirty. That's crazy talk he's speaking there. All right, folks, that's the end of it. For those of you on X, give us about 20 minutes. I'll kick up an X space. We'll do an after party. We can keep discussing this, or we can talk about something else about that freedom-loving Americans enjoy. I want to thank Harley. Hopefully we can get Harley back in here on a few more of these. We do them every Friday night, Harley. And my editing wasn't so great tonight, folks. I want to apologize for that. These videos are running a little bit long, but I found a different source to get them. And I think it's more raw. It's more without any, what am I trying to say? Commentary or other people's opinions. I think they're perfect for what we're doing here, but I'm going to have to spend some more time in editing and make them a little bit shorter. But I will do that for next week. All right, folks, we're out of here. If you guys in the studio, if you want to stick around, we can have a quick after-action review after this, and then we'll go on to the X Space. Thanks, folks, for watching, and we love your comments.
Hello.
No.
And did you ever get any money from Maya Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, or none that I knew. They never gave me anything.
None of the Chennies?
No. I don't even speak to it. I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him. No.
Night Court with Joe Lanou, live on X.
Also known as Duck Corella.
I refuse to answer on the grounds of made intent to
You got any business?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of intent to criminate.
You have any profession?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of made intent
You have
to
any
criminate.
occupation?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of made intent
Are
to
you a
criminate.
known racketeer?
I refuse to answer on the grounds of